Welcome to another episode of Out of the Pods. I'm Deep Tea.
And I'm Natalie, and happy Wednesday. Guys, I just came back from the Scottish Highlands like 20 minutes ago, so I'm frankly a mess. Like, if you could see my hair right now, it literally looks like I came out of the jungle. Like, it was I was blowing away. I've never felt so skinny because I was like, the wind is about to take me.
What a good feeling. Isn't that crazy how like we do normal things like record the podcast because it's like, obviously normal for us. And then weirdly, just like an hour ago, you were doing something so epic.
Literally crazy that an hour ago I was on a mountain somewhere.
Yeah, it's insane. I'm like, okay, I'm back in Chicago now, and it feels so weird. Yesterday was my travel day, and it's so weird to me that at 6 a.m. I was in the middle of the jungle in the rainforest in a treehouse, and like literally 7 hours later, I'm here in Chicago. Like, I was like, wait, is this real?
But I bet it feels so good because, I'm not gonna lie, so I'm, like, what, 6 weeks into my solo trip, and I'm getting to that point where I'm getting a little tired, I'm missing my bed, small things like that, I'm missing a routine. What's been really nice is I actually flew my parents out to Scotland for their 36th wedding anniversary.
That is
Is that
so
insane?
sweet. It's
36
insane.
years of marriage.
I know, that's crazy.
I
I'm
could
like,
never.
I know. I know. I think about that all the time. I'm like, is that gonna happen for me? Because my parents also, they're like 38, 39,
Yeah,
something like that.
amazing. My big thing is, like, imagine sleeping next to someone for that many years, like 30 plus years. I love sleeping alone. I love having just, like, a queen size bed to myself. Like,
Yes.
oh, I could not imagine, like, sleeping next to this other, like, hot-blooded body next to me. I'd be so hot. I'm such like a I, like, run really hot, and I'd be sweating at night. Like, I just love being by myself.
Lately I've been feeling like I really want to manifest a person because you're right. I'm getting a little too comfortable being alone, and that's the problem. But like, I swear I enjoy having somebody next to me to the point where even while vacationing and even at home, do you ever just sleep on one side of the bed? Like, I never touch the left side of my bed ever. I'm always sleeping on the right side. And it's so weird to me.
No, I
Do you
think I'm
do that?
so comfortable being single that I take the entire bed. It's like I force myself to, you know?
Yeah, it
Like,
just
I'll
feels
adjust
weird.
when I have a partner. I was like, "Okay, I'm taking the" oh, I guess I do always take the left side of the bed. I'll always take the left side of the bed,
Yeah.
but when it's just me, myself, and I'm like, "This is my entire space." My legs, like, literally like, spread out in V's. Like, I, like, can't
You're
help
like this.
myself, you know?
Yeah.
I sleep like I'm literally glued to the bed, where, like, my feet are spread out in a V motion and my hands are, like, touching each side of the bed. I'm, like,
I'm
wild. I'm so
so dead.
selfish.
Dude, that's so funny. I don't know. I noticed it the other day. I think because I saw a video about it and I was like, I never sleep on the other side of the bed. It just feels awkward because there's four pillows. And so I'm always on the two pillow side. Like it feels weird to rotate the pillow because my
Yeah.
pillows are not in the middle, you know? So I'm like, I can't take up this.
It's because 'cause you're not a selfish individual like I am. I'm like, "Oh, this is all mine." I was like, "Here I go. I'm gonna definitely utilize the space."
Yeah.
Maybe that means, like, your body is ready for a partner.
I'm ready. I've been ready. Let's go. But it's so
Yeah.
weird because I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, I should flip my mattress though, because like I'm sure there's just like an indent on one side of the bed and the other side's just fluffy.
Oh my god, you
You know what I mean?
actually?
I need
Wow,
to
good
rotate.
point. You should. I bet the other side feels so new.
I know. I'm like, this is so fresh.
I know. But anyways, the reason why I'm so glad my parents are here in the Scottish Highlands with me is I think I've been alone, like, for the last 6 weeks that I just love having people to talk to. Like,
Yes, absolutely.
I have nonstop talk to my parents. Like, I've told them everything, like, things they don't even wanna know. They're like, "You didn't have to tell us that."
You're like,
And I was
yesterday
like
I put on a gray sock and you have no idea how good it felt now.
I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, this is what I just ate, and it was amazing, and this is also what I ate, like, 3 weeks ago, and this is how my date went," and all these things. I guess just because I'm like, "Okay, when they leave Scotland and I go to my next country, like, who
Mhm.
am I gonna talk to? I need to get, like, all of this, like, social interaction out of me," you
Yeah,
know?
you're finally like, yay, I can yap at dinner again. I'm so excited.
And I don't have to, like, take care of anything, so my dad's, like, a very prepared packer, along with my mom, but m my dad is, like, like, the typical, like, travel dad, like, takes everyone's
Mhm.
passports and, has a full
Mm.
itinerary, like, carries everything in his backpack for everyone, and it felt so nice not worrying about anything.
Yes. Oh,
And
I
I
love
realize
it.
I'm the most unprepared when I travel with my parents because I rely on them so much. Like, I acted like a little kid. I was like, "Where are we going? Like, what are we
Yes.
doing?" Like, and I was like, "Wait a minute. I've been alone for, like, 5, 6 weeks. Why isn't my brain working?"
I know, something about being with your family just brings you back to your child self and, like, your inner child is just thriving. I'm like, "I'm just gonna have fun." It's the same way with my family too, and they would, like, never make me pay for anything also, so that's, like, a huge bonus when you travel with your parents too, even though I try to, like, sneak it, but yeah, it's so lovely. I'm so happy your parents are there.
Typically, when I'm traveling solo, I'll pack a lot of snacks, right? Because 'Cause I'm like, I don't know, like, who knows when I'll get my next meal. And then in Scotland with my parents, I'm like, "Dad, what snacks did you bring? I
Yeah.
didn't pack anything." And he's like, "I've got gummy bears and I've got protein bars." So, yeah, no, I'm like a little kid, and I'm gonna be really sad when, they go back home and I'm alone again. But you know
Alone
what?
again.
I know we, like, shit all over solo traveling in our last episode, but it really is, like, a life-changing thing. Like, I feel
Mhm.
like I know myself so well now, and I feel like solo traveling has made me so much more confident,
Yes.
like, where you feel like you could conquer the world type of feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like okay, so now that I'm back in Chicago, it feels so weird. Like, I don't know why, but I feel like a changed human being. Like in Costa Rica, the fact that I was driving in a foreign country, I was just like randomly getting up and doing new exciting things. And coming back to here, I feel like I have so much more confidence to go and like explore the city in a different way. Cause before I left for Costa Rica, I felt so stuck. Like, I didn't wanna go anywhere and do anything, and now I'm, like, just running around the city, even though it's only been, like, a day since I've been back. We'll see if these themes stick. But the one amazing thing, though oh my god, Natalie, when I was staying in this tree house, it's obviously in the middle of a jungle, right? So, like, I'm looking out, there's literally just leaves everywhere. It's constantly raining because it's a rainforest.
Yeah.
When I tell you I arrived at nighttime because I was stuck in traffic, and in Costa Rica, when you're driving, it's one-lane roads, so you have, cars going the opposite direction, and apparently someone got into an accident, and you have no idea what's happening, and I was stuck for 3.5 hours of no movement, and I was like, "What in the world is going on?" Like, everyone is like, "Welcome to Costa Rica." The reason I found out the T is because I was using a driving app called Waze. I'm sure you've heard
Yeah.
of Waze. And so you can like do little comments, but I was like, what am I gonna do? Anyways, I get to the jungle. It's complete pitch black dark out there. And I'm like, I couldn't even find the tree house for a second because there's like multiple of them.
Yeah.
And I went in, I drove up the wrong one. And this little kid comes out and she probably thinks that I'm like I don't know, just trying to rob them or something because she freaked out. As soon as she saw me, she screamed. She's like, "Ma!" I freaked her out because I went up the wrong one and I was like, "Oops, sorry." And I had to like do a 10-point turn to get back out. I was like, "Oh my God." So then I get into the treehouse. Beautiful, by the way, but there's bugs everywhere. And honestly,
Oh,
I
I
can't
can only
complain.
imagine.
Oh my god, Natalie, I was sleeping and I saw this little fuzz on top of the air conditioning thing and I called my mom and I was like, "Mom, that's just a fuzz, right?" And I zoomed in. It had the longest antlers ever. It was like a tiny bug and I was like, "I'm screwed." So I slept on the other side of the bed so that my feet were towards the air conditioning. In the morning, guess where it ended up?
Where?
On the pillow next to me, on this side of the bed I don't sleep on, thankfully. I was freaking out, and there's just, like, little lizards. I was like, "Oh, boy." So, I'm not gonna lie, like, that was a great experience, but it made me really grateful to come back to Chicago and not have to, like, wake up and look down on the floor to make sure there's no bugs before I walked on it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay. So, DT and I, you guys know we used to live in the same apartment building and we were really high up, like
Yeah.
25 plus floors high up. Um, and so we just didn't ever see bugs.
No.
Like there was just no bugs because we're so high up. And so in my London flat, there was, like, ladybugs, and that grossed me out because 'cause I'm so not used to bugs. And I
Yes,
was like, "Oh my
yes.
gosh, I'm such a loser."
No,
Like,
I it's just
I've been
freaky.
sheltered.
I know. The fact that I had roommates, I had, like, multiple ants everywhere, and I was like, "Oh my god," and they're not even small ants, they're, like, big,
No.
big black ants. I was like, "Oh, it's bubbly, like, I can see its
Ew, no, I know
structure."
exactly what you're talking about. I hate that.
But it's a really good thing that you're seeing ladybugs because it's a sign of luck. So,
Okay, what does it mean if you see 15 of them dead in your apartment floor?
that means life is going beautifully for you, darling.
When they're dead?
Oh, they're dead?
They were dead.
Oh, I didn't hear that part. Oh, that's not
Yeah, they were
good.
dead. I have no idea why they were dead, but I think what happened is it was so cold outside in London, they made their way into my apartment and died.
Okay,
And I
I'm
was
gonna
like,
have to come
"Have
back
I
to you on
have
that,
I been,
meaning
like" I was like, "How did they die? Like, was I farting a lot at night and, like, the smell killed them?" Like, I was like, "What happened?"
the fact that that's where your mind goes is
I
absolutely insane to me.
no, I actually my mind actually went there, and I was like, "How are there so many dead ladybugs in my apartment? Is it because, like, my apartment is too cold?" And I was like, "Maybe I shouldn't have eaten more fish and chips in London, and were my farts so toxic they just literally died?"
I just, like, imagine, like, a green fume dissipating into the room.
It's like toxic air, and I was like, "Is that how?" But seriously, there was, like, probably 12 to 15 dead ladybugs
Oh, no.
throughout my stay in London, and I was like, the problem is me. It's
No.
gotta be
No.
and I don't know if this is good luck."
I'm
And
sure
I was
every
like
Londoner is going through this,
and
it's fine.
and it's crazy because, like, their wings were spread out,
Oh,
like,
yes,
some of them,
yes.
so I was like,
Mhm.
"This is really freaky," and I hated it. Like, I was having kind of, like, panic attacks every time I'd find one. I'd be like, I can't live
You
this life anymore."
You're that's so funny because you would not like the rainforest then whatsoever
No.
because I could not even imagine the creepy crawlers. Also, like, you hear, like, crickets constantly, so it's, like, beautiful. I'm like, "Oh, this is great." I did a nature hike tour with, like, a guide, and he was telling me, he's like, "This is a poisonous frog. This is what they sound like when it's mating season." And I was like, "I'm surrounded by thousands of them." Thousands.
My
'Cause it's just like
poisonous
I'm like, "Oh, those aren't crickets? Great." I'm gonna be staying indoors. I was freaking out.
Wouldn't people my dad always does this line when I, like, complain about random shit, like, during solo traveling. He always goes like, "Yeah, but what an experience, like, an experience of a lifetime." And I was like, "I don't wanna experience this shit." I was
I
like,
know.
"I would rather choose not to experience this shit, like, I don't need to." If I was in my 20s, early
Mhm.
20s, I feel like if I saw bugs, I'd be like, "You know what? That's just life. C'est la vie." You know? But I feel like at this age, I'm like, "Fuck that."
Yes,
Like, I
I know what you
cannot.
mean, yeah. Well,
But
it's
good for
so
you.
funny because every time I go to India, like, I experience this, so I'm, like, kind of used to it, but I think I haven't been back in so long,
Yeah.
and the high-rise apartment has really spoiled me because now I'm like, "Oh my god," and, oh, you know how I love talking about karma and, like, I'm pretty spiritual.
Yeah.
Every time, Natalie, I killed an ant, I literally had to do, like, a little prayer. I was like, "I'm so sorry, like, my karma's gonna come back to bite me," because I think I killed at least 10 ants in my 3-day stay there. I was like, "No," and I feel so bad. I'm just waiting for something to happen to me.
So what's my karma? The fact that I killed like 15 ladybugs
I
with
think
my
the weather
toxic ass
did
farts.
that. The weather did that, you know? I'm
They're
just
just trying to find some warmth. They're like, "It's so cold outside." And meanwhile, they enter the wrong apartment, mine. They're like,
the
"Holy
fact that
shit."
their wings are spread, you know, they're trying to escape, and they're like, "No, I can't escape this."
They're like, "Toxic air." But yeah, it was really freaky. I was like, this
Uh,
I was cursed or this is some witchcraft. Like I was like, I hate it. But yeah,
uh,
no, it really is life-changing. But I feel the same as you where when I was like walking around different cities I was like, "Oh my gosh, why haven't I ever explored Chicago?" I was eating in Chinatown in London, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have to come back, like, a few more times because when will I ever eat in Chinatown in London?" And I was like, "Wait, there's a Chinatown in Chicago,
I
and I've
know.
only gone there, like, twice my entire life." Like, I was
Isn't
like, "Why haven't I gone exploring in the
Y
city?"
yeah. No, that's exactly how I felt too, and it's so funny because every time I drove through La Fortuna is where I was, and it's, like, the middle of the rainforest, and there's also Lake Arnold, and it was so breathtaking. I was like,
I
"Oh my gosh,"
bet.
the whole time I was driving, I was like, "This is so beautiful," and then I thought to myself, I was like, "When was the last time you went to Lake Michigan? Because it looks like an ocean there." Like, because I'm like, "Oh, I miss nature." And I'm like,
Yeah.
there's nature all around this concrete jungle that I just, like, don't go out to. And I need to more
We're
often.
gonna make that a thing. We're gonna go explore Chicago. We're gonna try different neighborhoods. I feel like we just stay in our own neighborhood and like go to a few, where like the good restaurants are. But I was like, let's go explore. Like, how
Yeah,
come I don't like when I'm bored in Chicago? And I was like, how come I'm not going to a neighborhood I've never been before? And I'm born and raised in Chicago. And I
yeah.
was like, how come I have not gone to like more than half the neighborhoods of Chicago?
Yeah, when was the last time we both went to Wrigleyville or, like, even north, there's probably so many amazing restaurants up there, we gotta go check it out. Or, like, go on a picnic, and there's probably plenty of bugs we haven't seen, we need to go visit them.
Exposure therapy.
Yes, exactly.
No, I know. Like, I used to live in Rogers Park, and I just never went back, and it had, like,
Yeah.
the best food, and I'm, like, too lazy.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
we're
meanwhile,
pledging it.
solo traveling, I'm, like, getting, like, 25,000 steps, and I was like, "Huh,
Yes.
how come I'm not doing that in Chicago?"
Yeah, no,
So,
absolutely. We're gonna pledge that we are gonna go explore our own city because there's probably so many things to do,
yeah.
and, we'll try it out when
No,
you're back.
pod besties, go explore your town and city. When we go to different places to travel, I realize like you learn so much about the history, like the architecture. You go into a cathedral or, the museum and you learn so much. When have you ever learned about the history of the town or city you're from or the
Never.
one that you live in? Never. And I bet it's so exciting, maybe.
Depends on where you live, I'm not gonna lie. Because if I was Bloomington, Illinois, where I'm from, I'm exploring the cornfields.
Yeah, but what type of corn do they grow there? You
It's
know?
only for gas, it's not for consumption.
Oh, hmm. Maybe that's what
Anyway,
killed those ladybugs.
yeah,
Ate too much of the Bloomingfield corn at one point, and it
yeah.
came out a little poisonous through my butthole.
I'm dead. This is perfect to talk about since Mother's Day is coming up. Moms go through a lot. For many new moms, hair thinning is an unexpected, frustrating part of motherhood, and more than half of women experience menopausal hair thinning. The stress of life's changes, busy schedules, postpartum, or menopause, our hair grows through it all with us. But with Nutrafol's award-winning line of hair growth supplements, you can feel confident in your hair and focus on what matters to you.
Nutrafol is the number one dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. That's why this Mother's Day, Nutrafol makes the perfect gift. There's something for every mom on your list. The postpartum formula is great for women in the first year after giving birth. The Women's Balance formula is perfect for women 45 and up, experience perimenopause or menopause. And of course, the women's formulas are great for those who are in between life stages.
This Mother's Day, consider Nutrafol, the best-selling hair growth supplement. Whether you're gifting it to yourself or a loved one, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off any order. Enjoy free shipping when you subscribe.
Go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code OOTP GIFT. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code OOTP GIFT. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code OOTP GIFT. Okay, no, you're a big fan of Sydney Sweeney, so I had to bring this up to you. So, according to page 6, Sydney Sweeney allegedly has called off her wedding with fiance Jonathan Davino. And a source told page 6 a lot of their issues came from her being busy with work commitments and him wanting more quality time with her.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just tell you about their relationship. So, Sydney Sweeney right now is 27 and her fiance Jonathan is 41, but they started dating in 2018 when she was 20 and he was 34. And you know what that told me? When she started dating him, her frontal lobe did not develop yet. Okay. And this is a lesson to never settle for the first man you meet when your frontal lobe isn't developed. Okay.
Yes. Dude, and also the fact that she is become more successful and famous and she is probably very busy, like priorities change. No man is more threatened by a woman who is successful and is like busier and has other ambitions and goals. And as soon as they start to see that they don't need them anymore, it threatens them so much. So they're like, no, honey, like I need more quality time, and I feel like that's exactly what happened. And it kind of reminds me of Paige DeSorbo and Craig Conover, that whole situation too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Well,
crazy.
I feel like it's different because like Craig and Paige were closer in age. And the fact
True.
that Sydney was dating him at age 20 and he was 34. Look, I think that some relationships with larger age gaps do work. But I feel like it's dependent on, like, the age you are, right?
Mhm.
Like, I feel like it'd been really different if she started dating him when she was even, like, 25
Yeah.
versus 20. Like, 20, you are a baby.
Baby, yeah.
Like,
Like, how many boyfriends have you had by the age of 20, you know?
I mean, you
Like,
could have had a lot, but I was like, "You still don't know what you want that
no,
much."
no,
And I feel
agreed.
like he knew what he wanted at 34 a little bit more, and what I'm just saying is, like, you know, it's really crazy when you become a better, wiser person, more successful woman with
Yeah.
age, and you just realize you're like, "You know what? That older man that seems so mature just wasn't that great."
Yes.
Okay?
Okay, but do we think that she's dating Glenn Powell now from Anyone But You, her co-star?
I mean, you know what? I hope so. I don't know if it's exactly over. The article said by page 6, like, they're not fully split yet. They're, like, gonna see if they can work it out, but the wedding is called off. But I mean, like, look, she has a production company. She has a $40 million net worth. Just, you know, enjoy that. Enjoy that on
Yeah,
your own. You don't need a man.
I know. I'm telling you, dude, something about women getting successful really does threaten a man in a
Like
relationship.
a very insecure man.
Because they no longer need them. You know, at the age of 20 and when he was 34, like, I bet you she was like, "Oh my gosh, like, you offer me so much." But now that her world has opened up and she has all these new opportunities in her life, you kind of see the relationship for what it is and you change your mind.
You know what? I actually never believed that at first, like men being threatened by successful women until I started dating someone who was threatened by my very low level of success. Like
Mm.
when I had a corporate job, not like with
So
the
not
what's
recent friends.
yeah, not recent. He found out what my salary was and was like so threatened by it, the fact that I
Mhm.
made more than him. And I
Yeah.
feel like I was like, "Don't you want a woman who makes more than you?" Like,
Yeah.
because we're gonna have a combined income one day. Aren't you thinking ahead like your money is my money? Like,
Yeah. Like,
you know
come
what I'm
on, just
saying?
be smart about this.
And I was like, if you made more than me, I'd be like, hell yeah. Like, fuck yeah. So I was like,
Yeah.
why aren't you thinking the same? He was so bothered thinking like it made him less of a man. And I was like,
Mhm.
the fuck? Like, what is wrong with these men out here?
I love how we had such different experiences because meanwhile, my ex of 10 years is like, thank God she's the breadwinner. I'm just going to quit my job. I'll be a stay at home dad. Didn't care at all. He's like, honey, can I have the credit card? Like, I need to go to the gas station and buy myself some smokes. Like, the amount of cigarettes I bought this man. And I'm like, am I delusional? Like, I'm Delulu. Truly.
No, I'm
Nuh-uh.
never using my money to buy a man a pack of cigarettes.
At least go buy at some Whole Foods. Like, what the
I know.
heck?
After experiencing that man and the audacity he had to feel threatened by my salary, I was like, wow, like there are some weirdos out there.
Yeah.
With Robinhood Gold, you can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions.
The privileges of the very privileged are no longer exclusive. With Robinhood Gold, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%, plus you also get 4% APY on your cash and non retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average.
The perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive your 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at robinhood.com/gold.
Investing involves risk, rate subject to change. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 per month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to robinhood.com/boost.
Over 8 times the national average savings account interest rate claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
That's why successful, independent, hardworking women are having a tougher time finding husbands or a partner because they don't want to settle anymore. And I don't know, it's just changing. I feel like the society is changing and it's hard for men to kind of understand that we don't need them anymore in the way that they think, you know?
I
I
mean,
still
like,
need you to change my tires and do
yeah,
certain things.
I still need you to help me, like, set up my TV.
Yeah,
For some reason, I don't know why, like, it takes longer for women to figure that out.
I know. I'm just like
Is
not,
it because no one taught us?
yeah, like I'm so challenged. It's crazy. But oh my god, that reminds me, Natalie, have you seen the TikTok where this girl posted, basically she didn't know how to change her water filter and
Mhm.
she recently lost her dad. So she put out a TikTok video saying, "Hey, like I need help changing this. Like my dad used to do it. I don't know how to do it." And there are millions of dads commenting, and I was bawling my eyes out and said, "Dad here," and then they would explain what was happening, and they'd be like, if you need anything else, like, I'm always here for you." And then the messages are like,
Stop.
"Dad, like, thank you so much for sending me all these people to help me while you're gone." And I was bawling my eyes out. I was like, "This is why the internet was invented, for moments like this."
That made my day, but also ruined it. Why
I
did
know. It's bittersweet.
Oh my gosh.
I know, it was so sad.
Wow, you know what? That really makes me think. Again, you know how I just talked about how I rely so much on my dad when I'm traveling with him? Like, I'm
Mhm.
just like, la la lee, like, I don't need to prepare anything. Yeah, what? Something about dads. Like, why are they always, they just know how to do everything.
I know, especially
And
when I
how come
have
I don't?
girls.
Like, when do I learn to do something?
It's I know exactly why. I had this conversation with my parents the other day. I was like, "Every time I'm home, you don't let me cook, you don't let me clean, you don't let me, like, fix anything. How am I ever gonna be independent and learn if I'm always dependent on you?" And I was like, "Let me do something, like, let me make this roti,
Yeah.
mom."
And
She's
what'd
like,
she
"No."
say?
She's like, "Fine," and then constantly she's like, "You're doing it wrong. Beta, you're doing it wrong." I'm
And you're
like,
like, fine, I'll
"Mom."
never fucking do this.
Exactly. I'm
You
like,
know
"I'm done. I'm
what?
over this."
Okay, that's I actually had this talk with my dad like a couple of months ago where he does everything for my sister and I. Like even
Mhm.
let's say we're going on a family trip, he will not let us even touch our own suitcases. Like
Yes.
he will carry all of our suitcases
Mhm.
like to the car, from the car to the airport, like everything. And I was like, you don't need to do this. First of all, you're like 30 plus years older than me. Like
Yes.
I have a lot of youth still in me. I know I'm 33, but I was like, I can still do shit on my own. But I was
Yeah.
like, I feel like this is why like I'm dependent on you. Not in
Mhm.
that way, like, where I'm not learning how to do things on my own quicker. Obviously, I know how
Exactly.
to do my own suitcase, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes, I
I
know
was like, I
exactly.
feel like if I was, like felt, like, helpless, like, I would learn. I'm that type
Mhm.
of person where I'm like, "Okay, yes, I feel very, like, anxious and helpless, I don't know how to do something, I'm gonna go learn it." That's, like, my
Exactly.
mentality, and I was like, "When you help me too much, I don't have those moments, and I just don't learn how to do something." Is that crazy?
I completely relate to that because that's exactly how my dad is too, and I have to be like, "Dad, I'm stronger than you. Let me just do it." And he's like, "What? Like, how dare you?" Like, even carrying the
Yeah.
suitcases up and down the staircase, I'm like, "Dad, you do not need to be doing this. Like, let me just take over."
I'm
But I
fucking
know what you
Korean,
mean.
and I don't know how to use a rice cooker. Is that
Natalie,
insane?
that's kind of a sin.
I know. I'm,
That's
like,
how.
embarrassed. My parents gave me a rice cooker just because they were like, "Oh, we have an extra one, like, take it."
Yeah.
And I plugged it in, and I was like, "I don't even know how to fucking use this."
Oh my
I've
god.
never used a rice cooker in my 33 years, and I was like, "I'm a Korean woman."
That is so funny. That
Because
is so funny.
I've never had to make rice for myself. Isn't that insane to think about? It's
Yes.
just my parents, my grandparents, all of them, it's just like, I've never had to make rice for myself, and I was like, yeah, like, I was like, "I'm incompetent."
Yeah, wait, that's so funny because making the rice is the only task my parents will give me when we're at home and cooking. They're like, "Oh, you can make the rice." I was like, "The most boring thing is what you give me responsibility for? Like, how
No.
dare you?"
And to learn how to use a rice cooker, I watched a YouTube video by a white woman. I was like, "The fuck?"
Diabolical.
No, literally, I was
Diabolical.
like, "What? Something's wrong with this situation."
You
I was like,
know,
"I literally my parents are Korean immigrants."
that should
Like,
have been the first thing you learned.
it's in their blood to, like, use a rice cooker. I'm watching literally a YouTube tutorial by a woman named Nancy living in Louisiana,
Well, the South do know how to make rice really
I was
well, so at
like,
least
this episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. I've been in therapy for a while, and I truly think it has made me a better version of myself. And it's not just for those who have experienced major trauma, but traditional in person therapy can cost anywhere from $100 to $250 per session, which adds up. But with BetterHelp Online Therapy, you can save on average up to 50% per session. With BetterHelp, you pay a flat fee for weekly sessions, saving you big on cost and on time.
Therapy should feel accessible, not like a luxury. With online therapy, you get quality care at a price that makes sense. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. It's convenient too. You can join a session with the click of a button, plus switch therapists at any time.
Your well-being is worth it. Visit betterhelp.com/out of the pods to get 10% off your first month.
That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/ out of the pods. Did you see that Netflix is releasing a new show called Battle Camp? And it has Love is Blind people on there, Perfect Match, The Circle. There's a few people I've never heard of on there, but Netflix is really doing their thing with the reality TV shows. Like,
I know. It will with these now like like these Netflix universe reality TV shows. So Love is Blind season 4's resident mean girl Irina is on this new show that's coming out April 23rd. And there's a lot of backlash about her being casted on this show, which I kind of get because I think people are being like, why does Netflix always reward not great people?
because they make good TV.
I don't think she's a bad person. Like, she didn't murder anyone, you know? She kind of just stays in her own lane on social media, at least. But I think it's one of those things where, like, she was super mean on her season. And again, like, why is she being given this opportunity to be on TV compared to, like, Zach and Bliss, which are people that viewers, like, really love to see.
I would say it's because they make good TV. Like, if I'm being honest, I feel like Netflix is just taking their most, I don't know, memorable people that have made an impact and putting them together in a blender and hitting the chaos button. And you know that they're going to make really good TV. Like, I'm sorry to say, but like, there's certain people that were amazing and super likable. But I feel like in certain reality TV shows, they're just not going to be entertaining enough. And I'm probably on that list actually,
No,
because
same,
I'm
same.
too afraid to be crazy because the internet is a scary place.
That's so true. I
You're
feel like there's certain personalities, and when I say certain personalities, I mean just like normal, regular people who thrive on shows like Love is Blind, but they wouldn't do great on like a competition reality TV show because they don't bring the drama and the confrontation and the arguments and things like that. But I don't know, like Irina, I feel like she's going to be interesting to watch. I might like try watching it, even though it doesn't sound like my type of show. It sounds like
same.
the challenge plus some musical shit.
I
Like
know.
it's
Okay.
it's like, it sounds just, like, weird, but
Mhm.
the reason why I just wanna watch her is to see if she's gonna be super careful because I feel like there's 2 paths. I feel like on their second reality TV show, they could either play into their villain role or they're gonna be super careful with, like, what they say or do because they don't wanna be a villain again.
That's so true. Either the villain just owns it or they try to redeem themselves. Like, for example, Shake, he completely owned it. He was like, I'm going on House of Villains. So he's like, I'm there for it, you know?
Yeah.
I love those type of reality TV shows, like competition shows. Like, I'm a huge challenge girl, but I don't know why, but something about Battle Camp doesn't make me want to watch it. Like, it just sounds like it's going to be a remake of something we've already seen.
Yeah. But what we'll do, Posse
Bossy. I
what
mean, it
the
was
hell
right.
just came out of my mouth?
It's right.
What I was gonna say is, what we'll do, Pod Besties, is watch the first few episodes and we'll let you know if it's worth it. Let us know if you want us to recap it. We might just see what it's about, like who knows. But I'm still very surprised that Irina was casted for the show. That felt like it was really left field, but maybe this is gonna be her redemption arc,
Yeah,
honestly.
let's
Who
see.
knows?
I'm excited that also Nick from The Circle is on there. I think I enjoy watching him, so
Yeah, I feel like
he's
he's
fun.
someone that plays into like the I'm a hot man looking for a hot girl.
Yeah, the flirt role. I feel like
Yeah.
that's exactly what Nick is.
Well, April 23rd, it's around the corner. We'll be watching a few episodes, I guess. So I've been following along the Megan Fox slash Machine Gun Kelly drama ever since Megan Fox was associated with Chelsea from season 6 when
Oh,
she was like,
yes.
oh, people tell me I look like Megan Fox slash MJK's wife.
Yeah.
So she recently had her baby with Machine Gun Kelly, but there's some side drama happening. So Brian Green, who is Megan Fox's ex-husband, posted on his story a DM that Machine Gun Kelly sent him that said, "Stop asking when our child is going to be born. You the feds, quit calling TMZ and focus on that apology you owe me for speaking on my name in public. You chose the wrong one to with Mr. Child Actor, go back to cereal commercials.
Damn.
And yeah, so Brian's like, I'm just gonna post this on my stories.
First of all, that was that was so savage of him to post it, but also, if you're gonna send him a message like that, you have to understand that, like, something like this is gonna happen. Like, the fact that Machine Gun Kelly and Megan are not even together, like, why is he so bothered? Because they're co-parents, like, he is this baby is gonna be in Brian's life no matter what.
Well, that's what Brian's fiance recently told the media. She's like, of course we're asking about the baby. Like, this baby is going to be the siblings to Brian's kids.
Yeah.
Like, so we're getting them really excited. So what? But I was thinking in my head, I was like, how funny that celebrities are just like us. Not really us. I don't think we would ever send an unhinged DM like this, but we've received some from our exes.
What hurts me about this is that it's against MGK, and he's my dream man. I love Megan Fox and MGK so much. Like,
Uh,
I love his music. I know you're gonna judge me on it. Judge away, girl. I just saw your face and I was like, oh, what? But I love him. I actually I've seen him perform multiple times.
do you love him after seeing that DM he sent Brian Green?
No, because I've seen him do interviews and he comes off very like spiritual, and he talks a lot about his childhood trauma. So I feel like he's like very balanced and level-headed in a lot of ways. But then this makes me realize that he's unhinged. He's unhinged and he's going through some things, because I know that Megan and him, they always call each other their twin flames. And you know how I love that. So I just feel like, I don't know. It just is confusing. Their entire relationship is confusing. Like, why is he being so publicly weird to her ex-husband, who is obviously going to be in their lives forever, considering Brian and Megan have kids together? Like, just be an adult and co-parent. Like, I'm confused and as to why there's so much chaos.
When I saw the CM and realized he doesn't use capitalization and there's so many punctuation mistakes and so many emojis, I got the ick. I was like, I'm sorry.
You
Like,
would.
if you are
The grammar police.
if you are DMing something that's supposed to be so serious and you can't use a capitalization here and there,
You probably hate when I
and
text
you
you.
say something like you the feds, like I'm like, game over. Like you lost already.
Okay, when it comes to grammar, like, I love like making sure that, everything is correct if I'm sending like an email and things like that. But when I text, I'm so unhinged. And that just made me think, like, Natalie, you probably hate when I text you because I use 100 letters. I'm like, okay. She's
No,
probably
you
like,
should
get to the point.
No, you should see our text before this recording. Like, I just misspelled. Like, I don't care. It's just you. And I was like, she'll read between the lines. Like, she knows exactly
Oh,
what I'm
yeah.
saying. But I feel like when you're fighting with someone via text or via DMs, it better be so damn serious. You better be a punctuation queen. I feel like when I'm in some sort of written argument, like
Mhm.
people are typing away or texting away, uh, and they have like spelling mistakes and shit, I'm like, it's done. You don't deserve my respect in this moment or
Oh
my
my gosh.
time.
You're so right. Even when I've sent like a really serious text and it's like an important thing I'm talking about with my friends, and I use the wrong your, it pisses me off. I self-destruct because I'm like, oh my God, the entire message has no meaning. And it's like the worst thing. Or I misspell something and I'm like,
Yes.
great. Like, all my seriousness is completely out the door.
You're just like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. My argument is mute."
Yeah, exactly. Thank goodness they invented the edit button, because the amount of times I've used it is insanity. But then I hate when like you send multiple texts and then it says edited at the bottom and then there's like a break in the text. I'm like, oh, that pisses me off. I don't know why, but visually I just get really annoyed. And I'm like, I can't believe I did this.
You're like, "If we're fighting, it better look perfect." You know what's the
Exactly.
worst? You could see what the person edited. So if you click on edited, it shows you what they wrote originally and then what they fixed.
Yes.
Sometimes I'll send something and then edit, like, all of it again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, "Okay, that was a little bit, like, crazy for me to send, so I'm gonna, like, rewrite it." And I was like and I'll rewrite it a couple of times, and I was like, "I wonder if they press, like, edit it and they're like, Bitch, that's not what you originally
I
said.
know. Can I just tell you, you told me this a while ago, and ever since you told me that, I've been very, like, vigilant and careful when I text because 'cause I'm like, "Oh, she can still see it, or they can still
Yeah.
see it," you know? I'm like, "Oh, no."
I used to fight with New York Boy, and he's the one who actually told me about the edited thing, like you could see. And he told me after I was editing so many texts.
He's like, I saw what you said originally because you, like, are pissed, and then you're like,
Like
"Wait a
he's
minute, let
like
me change my mind."
he goes, "Tell me what you really think."
You're like, "Oh, I can just click it and see." Oh my
And I
god,
was
that's the
like,
worst.
"Well, well, well." Maybe I am as unhinged as Machine Gun Kelly. Maybe I do understand him more than I think I do.
Yeah, you know what? He needs this drama for his music. That's why
Yeah.
he's so creative and amazing, so,
Well, I don't think he wanted that DM to be public. I feel like it
oh,
was this
okay.
unhinged DM that he's like, no one's ever gonna see it. Like Brian
Yeah.
will never post it on his stories. And then
I
Brian posts it on his stories and it is what it is.
I do have to say though, Brian can be a little messy sometimes. So I don't know, maybe I'm kind of on MGK's side a little too because he does do a lot of TMZ like interviews. Like why are you on TMZ talking about your ex-wife and her new boyfriend? He's like, "Well, people keep asking me this." And it's like, "Brian, just don't say anything, you know?" So I mean, maybe it was warranted, but probably not.
Okay.
I
You
love how
know
you're like,
what?
"Okay."
I love how we're sitting here like judging them, being like, this is so crazy that they're talking about it in public. But I know if I was in their shoes, I'd be calling TMZ every day.
She'd be
I'd
on
be
this
like, you
podcast.
want me to talk shit about my ex's new partner who I think is a dipshit? Like, fuck yeah. Like, ask me some questions.
I'll be first in line. Sign me up.
I'm such a petty ass person. I'd be like, you don't have to call me. I'll call you.
Yeah. Brian was so happy when back in November they called off the engagement, Megan and MGK. He's probably like, yes.
He did say something like, so they called it off because Megan said that she found something upsetting on MGK's phone. So I think
Mhm.
there was allegations that he like cheated on her. And Brian said something like, grow up to the
Mm.
media, like what he wanted to say about MGK. So I was like, but I mean,
Mm,
I was like,
yeah.
he's not wrong. Yeah, grow the fuck up.
I know. This just proves that, you know what? Obviously, we're all humans having a human experience.
No, I'm telling you, I have met so many men like MGK, like kind of unhinged, and like men who would send these types of DMs. You know the personality.
Yes,
Like we've
absolutely.
dated some of them where you just like, a man, I mean, boy, who will send this sort of DM with no capitalization, punctuation mistakes, just the most unhinged DM because they didn't have the emotional regulation to stop themselves.
Yes.
And I was like, it's a very much a canon event when you date them, okay?
Absolutely. And actually, I'm looking at the message, and you know what's crazy is he uses so many periods. So the fact that he used a period and like autocorrect actually changes it to
A
a
capital.
uppercase letter, and
Yeah.
he went back and changed it to a lowercase makes it even more intentional, which is hilarious to me. I'm like, "Oh, okay, you did that on purpose."
So yeah, like it's so crazy that like Megan Fox, who's one of the most beautiful women, had a canon event and dated someone like Machine Gun Kelly.
Hey, not too much
It
on my boy.
it really makes me believe that most people experience the same things in life.
Absolutely. They're just richer and more famous. That's
Yeah.
the only difference. Pod besties, vacation season is upon us. It's spring break time for a lot of families. Natalie and I have also been traveling a lot. While I was in Costa Rica, my suitcase handle broke, and immediately after getting home, I ran to find new luggage on Quince. I have another trip in a few weeks, so I got a new expandable large check in suitcase in the dark green color. They have premium luggage options and tote bags to carry it all.
Quince is my go-to for high quality travel essentials. They have lightweight European linen styles for just $30, washable silk tops, and comfy lounge sets. The best part is all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They're able to do that by partnering directly with top factories, cutting out the cost of the middleman, and passing the savings on to us.
For your next trip, treat yourself to the luxe upgrades you deserve from Quince. Go to quince.com/slash out of the pods for 365-day returns plus free shipping on your order.
That's QUINCE.com/slash out of the pods to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/slash out of the pods.
Speaking of famous people, though, I can't believe that there is a JonasCon. Have you ever heard of
Wait, I'm
JonasCon?
sorry. We got to talk about Deep D's transition here. Speaking of famous people, who else would we talk about?
That's true.
The man at the doctor's office, like, we all we talk about is famous people.
One thing about me and this podcast is I love a good segue. I'm like, it feels so weird if I don't have a segue. I'm like, so speaking of people, did you hear about this person?
Hot Besties, you don't know this, but before we press record, Deepti and I will think about like what we generally want to talk about. And we always think about like how we're going to transition and segue. Like Deepti's like, okay, this is how we're going to relate these two topics.
And then if a story doesn't make sense in the sequence, we're like, we probably need to toss that. There's no good segues.
We think about segues like 20 times a month. It takes a lot of our brain power.
We need to just create a notes app, like a shared notes app, and think of just segues. Oh, that's a good one.
I think about transitions like too much, like way too much, right? It's my Roman Empire. A good transition.
You're like, this man just said a really good segue.
No, yes. Anyways, speaking about famous people.
Good one. Speaking about famous people, how did I not know that JonasCon was a thing? If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, the Jonas Brothers just celebrated their 20th anniversary and they transformed an entire mall into like a Jonas Wonderland. And first of all, 20 years, like how old are we?
I can't believe they've existed for 20 years and I've been a fan of them for 20 years.
It's
That's sick.
absolutely insane. But I just have to say, I love them so much. The fact that they're all married, well, one is divorced, Joe Jonas, but they all have kids. And I'm like, oh my God, this is actually insane. And it makes me feel super old, but also how nostalgic because apparently they used to perform at malls. So this was kind of like their nod to the early days. And that's why they transformed like an entire mall to this. And I'm like, wow, that's actually so cool. And the fact
Oh
that
my
there are
gosh.
so many Jonas Brothers fans, like, who's your favorite brother? I'm just
Oh
curious.
man, it was always Nick. It was always Nick
Really?
Jonas. You know, in their song Burning Up, that red dress line, that plays in my head once a week. You know what line I'm talking about? Does
Yeah.
anyone know? Where he's like, red dress.
Okay. That gave away no clues to me.
The people who know.
No, you're right.
If you know, you know. Okay? Like, if I need to explain it to you, then you don't deserve to know. And the song Year 3000, that's some Edgar Allan Poe shit, okay? Like, that was amazing poetry. I've been to the year
Year 3000.
3000. Not much has changed, but they lived underwater. And your great, great, great granddaughter is doing fine. Like,
So
oh my
good.
god, no lyric has touched me that hard than the Bible.
The fact that this is the song that speaks to you the most, because if you guys know Natalie, she's like, she doesn't love listening to a lot of music. So you know when she loves a song, she really loves it. And these lyrics are engraved in your brain because now I'm thinking about it, I was like, I don't know any of these lyrics. I don't remember that.
I mean, yeah, like I don't memorize lyrics. In year 3000, I know the entire fucking song, okay?
I am definitely the type of person that never memorizes lyrics. Like I'll go to a concert and love the artist and I'll just make up my own lyrics on the spot. My friends are like, "What are you singing?" And I'm like,
Oh,
"I'm vibing. Leave me alone."
oh my god, I do that too. You know when you don't know what to do with your body at a concert, and so you like need to mouth the words, like you need to like
Yes.
sing along, right? But you don't know the song.
Yes.
I'll like pretend I'd be like, like I'll
You probably get so excited when the chorus is so catchy. It's like easy to catch on to and you're like, "Yes, this is
like,
easy."
I'll memorize the chorus when it first comes on, and then the second time it comes on, I was like, "Okay, I know the words 100%." So I'm always like and I'll act like I know, and I'll be like, "Yeah."
Wait, I'm so dead. I couldn't even imagine being like a girlfriend of an artist and like not knowing their lyrics and like everyone's zooming in on them. You
I
better know
know.
your lyrics.
No, like, Giannina from Love Is Blind season 1, she's, a close friend of ours, and we've hung out with her, especially when she's in town, and Blake, her fiancé, is DJing, like, somewhere in Chicago. And she, like, will dance without singing to the songs that he plays. And I'm like, how do you look so effortless? Like a normal person just dancing. I feel like I can't just like sway there, you know? Like I
I
need to sing
know.
along. Like
Yes.
I don't know what else to do, right? Like I don't know how to I don't have like the groove or the movement.
Yes. Or you, like, go to an artist show who, like, you know, like, 1 or 2 of their popular songs, but your friend really wants you to come to the concert, and then the rest of the the rest of the concert, you're just like, "Okay, what do I do?"
Like you kind of know it. You're like,
Oh my god, I'm dying that you're singing.
No, literally, that's why I'll never go on like a first, second, third, fourth, fifth date to like any sort of like concert or musical act where people like know the songs.
I'm so
There's no way, but I
dead.
do that. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, and
I'm cackling at that.
I think about it as like and you know when you're like trying really hard, like it's not coming natural to me. So I was like,
Yes.
oh my god, I have to really think about what the next words are so it looks like I'm mouthing the right thing.
Yes,
I'm always like,
absolutely.
but it's crazy, like, I feel like the human brain, you could guess what word is about to come.
Oh, absolutely. I'm
Like, when
like
you're like when the first words are like, "I'm about to fall in," and you're like, "Oh, they're gonna say fall in love with you." You know, like, you can finish.
but then it's
Where
not. It's like fall something else, and you're like, "Fuck, I guessed that
and I was like
wrong."
and you're like,
I'm like, "No one heard it right."
Is that a shared experience? Is it just us
I
or
don't
just me?
know.
No, it says
No,
it's a shared experience.
it has to be a shared experience, but I never know because I feel like our bubble is just you and I. Sometimes I'm like, "Is this the shared experience?" And people are like, "No, it's not."
And we'll always talk about this, and we're like, "You too?
Yeah, and
You
you're like,
too?"
"No."
Oh, actually, I said something on this podcast about, like, something being a canon event, and someone's like, "No, it's not. That's just an event you went through,
No, okay.
and no one else. It's rare." And I was like,
You're
"Okay."
like, "Hey."
I was like, "So I guess I'm very unrelatable, but"
That is so funny. Well,
Um,
apparently also now the bonus Jonas, Frankie Jonas, do
who
you
the
know who
fuck
that
is
is?
Frankie Jonas?
He's the youngest sibling of the Jonas Brothers. I know, poor guy's always forgotten, but he's the bonus Jonas, and he is
Wait,
now
they started a band without Frankie Jonas?
he was too young. Imagine just having superstar brothers and you're too young to join, but you have musical talent in your DNA. Like, that has to be so depressing and sad, and you're like, "Wait a minute, what about me?"
I know. Like, people think it's just 3 brothers, but there's a 4th one out there.
There's a 4th one. Well,
If
he
I was Frankie Jonas, I'd grow up with some issues.
yeah. I'm like, I always have to be behind the scenes. Like, he's always the one taking their TikTok videos. And he said, no more of that because now Frankie Jonas is entering into the music world. He is just about to release a new song, I think. And he performed it at the JonasCon event. But I just have to say, like, what is in this family's DNA? Because how do they just have little musical notes in their DNA? like, like, there's
I
so
don't
much
know.
talent.
How come I have IBS that runs through my veins? Like,
You just have a little toilet in your
yeah,
DNA.
there's just the shit just happens, okay? Like,
No
um,
pun intended.
you know, the golden age of the Jonas Brothers has already passed. So, like, Frankie's joining at the worst time ever, okay? Like, it sucks to say. I hate to be mean, but it just is what it is. I've never heard of Frankie Jonas.
Well, well, now you have. But I do have to say, they are coming back. Like, they're going on tour. Apparently, they're going to go do this mall thing all over the country, this JonasCon thing.
Poor Frankie Jonas, though. Like,
I know.
I always thought the Jonas Brothers, it was just 3 musically talented brothers.
Nope.
And who knew that there was a 4th?
We know everyone's joking too and saying if Kevin ever sang anything, he would sound like Frankie Jonas. And I'm like, you're totally right. Kevin never sings. Like, poor
Oh my
Kevin.
gosh, you're totally
He
right.
just plays the guitar. So I'm like, oh,
We know who didn't get all of the genes then,
yep, there you go.
you know?
Poor Kevin.
One thing I learned is, like, genes are never split half and half with siblings, you know? Sometimes you have more DNA from your, like, dad versus mom and things like that, and I was like, we know Kevin didn't get all wherever those musical genes came from.
Yep. That's why, I can't believe Nick is your favorite. I mean, Nick is my second favorite, I guess, but
Nick's only
Joe
my
is my
favorite
favorite.
Nick is only my favorite because of that line, "Red dress." I've just
That was
it
a
like
jump scare. I was like, what?
it's just this, like, part of my brain that feels really good, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for me, that moment is when Nick and Joe sing and they're like dancing in the living room till no, 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 no. I don't know the rest of the lyrics clearly, but where they're like doing the little dance and they go down to the
Yeah.
floor, that scratches a little thing in my brain. And I'm like, oh, it just feels so nice.
For me, it really is red dress. I'm not doing it right. It's red dress, red dress.
I'm gonna have to
Literally
go look this up immediately.
no, it's so funny, especially in the music video for Burning Up. You see him say it, and it's the best, but, well, you know what? I did actually look up the reviews for JonasCon, and people said if you live close to JonasCon, it's worth it.
Yep, New
But if you
Jersey.
live far, they said it's not worth it. So I won't be making the drive or the flight.
It's crazy how many people came from across the country. I'm like, wow, this is a whole ordeal, but good for them.
People who attended, I saw like some reviews and they're like, if you've been a big fan of the Jonas Brothers, like their music, like it's a fun event. But logistically, I guess it's a little bit of a mess, but
You know that mall has not had those many people in it for so long because who goes to the mall anymore?
no, this is when I know I'm, like, kinda old because I still go to the mall. I like shopping
Stop
for
it.
my clothes in person. I like feeling the fabric, and I was like, this is why I totally get how, like, old people do things that you're like, "Why are you doing it?" Like, the internet exists. I get it when you can't change your patterns. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I
I will
know
always
exactly
be an
what you mean.
in-person shopper.
Well, I will not be. I am a chronic onliner.
Well, can I tell you why too? Because 'Cause I'm never paying for that return shipping fee.
Oh, preach. I'm the worst at returning things. I feel like you're good at returning things.
I am, that's why I have to be an in-person shopper.
Yeah.
I return so often, I need to try on the clothes, and so, like, I don't return it.
I get overwhelmed when I go in person, especially to Aritzia. People just like come for me. I'm like, why are people talking to me? And also, why do they not have mirrors inside of the dressing room? It bothers me so much. Like, you think I want to go outside and look at it? No, I don't. I literally have to pull up a phone and I have to look at myself through the phone because
Oh
I
my
don't
god,
want to
that's
walk
what
out.
yeah, same, because I was like, "Who really puts on jeans and a shirt?" Like, I go bra like, when I go change, like, in a dressing room, I will take off my bra, and I was like, "Why am I stepping back out for everyone to see?" And
Yes,
that one boyfriend who's just, like, sitting waiting for his girlfriend outside the dressing room, and I was like, "Why do I want him to see this ill-fitted dress on me?"
exactly. And when you're shopping alone, you can't zip things up too. And I'm just like, oh, I can't do
I
this.
know you, like, kinda hold it weirdly for yourself, but
Yes, yes.
that's a shared experience.
That is a shared experience.
But anyways, Pod Besties, let us know if we should watch Battle Camp, which comes out April 23rd. Should we recap it on this podcast?
And make sure you guys leave a review and subscribe.
See you next Wednesday.
Bye.